Imagine a world so small, so elusive, that it slips through the grasp of our senses. A realm where the very fabric of reality seems to shimmer and dissolve into whispers of what might be. This is not the world of mountains or oceans, nor the vast expanse of stars above, but a hidden domain beneath it all. A place where the tiniest fragments of existence hum with secrets that defy everything we thought we knew. Welcome to the quantum world, a quiet enigma that lies at the heart of everything, invisible to the naked eye, yet shaping the very foundation of all that is. How can something so small, so imperceptible, hold the key to the vastness of the cosmos? What does it mean that the smallest whispers of the universe could echo through the entirety of our being? Picture, for a moment, the stillness of a midnight forest, where the air itself seems to hold its breath. Now, shrink that vision down, smaller and smaller, past the leaves, past the cells within them, past even the atoms that form their delicate structures, until you reach a place where the rules of the forest no longer apply. Here, particles flicker, in and out of existence, like fireflies in an endless void, their presence more a suggestion than a certainty. These are the building blocks of reality, yet they behave as if they belong to a dream, neither fully here nor fully gone, neither solid nor ethereal. It is as though the universe, at its deepest level, is not a structure of stone and certainty, but a chorus of possibilities, each note waiting to be sung into being. Take a moment to reflect on this. How does it feel to know that beneath the surface of everything you touch, everything you see, there lies a mystery that refuses to be pinned down? Consider the scale of this hidden world. If you were to hold a single grain of sand in your hand, you would be cradling billions upon billions of these quantum fragments, each one a universe of strangeness unto itself, and yet, without them, there would be no sand, no hand to hold it, no thought to ponder its weight. The quantum realm is the silent architect of all we know, crafting the mountains and the seas, the laughter of a child and the sigh of the wind, from a language of uncertainty and chance. Isn't it haunting to think that the vastness of existence, every galaxy spiraling through the void, every heartbeat echoing through time, rests on something so fragile, so intangible, that it seems almost to tease us with its elusiveness? This invisible foundation raises questions that linger like a quiet fog in the mind. Are we too made of whispers, our lives shaped by forces we cannot see or grasp? If the smallest elements of the universe are not bound by the rules we cling to, then what are the rules that govern us? Could it be that reality, at its core, is not a fixed path, but a maze of endless potential, waiting for something, perhaps us, to give it form? These are not questions with easy answers, nor are they meant to be. They are invitations to wonder, to sit with the unknown, to let the mystery of the quantum world wrap around you like a soft, unseen blanket. As we linger, in this thought, let us imagine a single particle, adrift in the vast emptiness of its strange domain. It does not sit still, nor does it move in ways we might predict. It dances, perhaps, or hums, existing in a state we cannot fully describe with the crude tools of human language. And yet, from this dance, from this hum, emerges everything. The weight of a stone in your palm, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the fleeting beauty of a memory. How can something so small carry the burden of all that is? How can a whisper become a shout that echoes across the ages? Take a moment to reflect on this. Close your eyes if you wish, and feel the quiet weight of the unseen, the hidden world that holds us all in its gentle, mysterious embrace. In this quantum realm, we find not just the roots of the physical, but a mirror to our own existence. Just as these particles evade definition, so too do we often find ourselves caught between who we are and who we might become, between the solid ground of the present and the shimmering possibilities of what lies ahead. Perhaps in the end, we are not so different from these elusive fragments of the universe, beings of potential, waiting to be shaped by forces we cannot fully understand, yet cannot help but feel. Let this thought settle over you like a quiet tide, carrying you deeper into the night, into the stillness where questions bloom and answers fade into the soft hum of wonder. Imagine a universe that refuses to be fully known. A realm where the very act of seeking clarity casts shadows over what you thought you understood. Picture yourself standing at the edge of reality, peering into a dance so intricate, so elusive, that the more you try to grasp it, the more it slips through your fingers. Welcome to a hidden choreography, a silent waltz of the cosmos, where certainty itself seems to tremble and fade. This is the dance of uncertainty, a principle woven into the fabric of existence, whispering to us that perhaps the world is not meant to be pinned down, but rather felt in its fleeting, mysterious rhythm. At the heart of this enigma lies a truth, discovered by a man named Werner Heisenberg, a quiet revelation that shook the foundations of how we perceive the world. In the 1920s, as humanity grappled with the strange new landscape of quantum physics, Heisenberg uncovered a profound limit to our knowledge. He found that in the subatomic realm, the world of particles smaller than atoms, we cannot know both the position and the momentum of a particle with perfect precision at the same time. If you focus on where a particle is, its speed and direction blur into ambiguity. If you measure how fast it moves, its location becomes a ghostly smear of possibility. It is as if reality plays a game of hide and seek with us, revealing one face while concealing another, daring us to accept that some truths will always remain just out of reach. But let us linger on this for a moment. What does it mean to live in a universe that resists complete understanding? Imagine a dancer on a dimly lit stage, moving with such grace that you can either marvel at the arc of their leap or the precise placement of their feet, but never both at once. To focus on one is to lose the other, to trade clarity for mystery. This is the essence of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, not just a rule of physics, but a philosophical mirror held up to our own lives. How often do we strive to know everything, to map out every detail of our future, only to find that in doing so, we lose sight of the momentum carrying us forward? Perhaps there is a quiet wisdom in this uncertainty, a reminder that some aspects of life, like the particles of the quantum world, are not meant to be fully grasped, but rather experienced in their fleeting beauty. Take a moment to reflect on this. When have you sought certainty, only to find that the mystery itself held the deeper truth? Now, let us drift deeper into the implications of this cosmic dance. If the universe at its smallest scale defies our attempts to pin it down, what does this say about the nature of reality itself? Is the world inherently shy, cloaking its secrets behind a veil of probability? Or are we the ones who impose limits through the very act of looking? Consider a vast ocean, its surface calm and still, yet beneath, currents swirl in unpredictable patterns. We might stand on the shore, casting our nets to capture a single fish, but in doing so, we disturb the water, altering the very thing we sought to understand. So it is with the quantum realm. Our measurements, our questions, ripple through the fabric of what is, changing it in ways we cannot predict. This is not a flaw in our tools or our minds, but a fundamental truth. Reality, at its core, may not be a fixed thing to be known, but a living, breathing mystery that shifts with every glance. And what of us, standing on the edge of this unknowable dance? Does this uncertainty unsettle us? Or does it free us? Think of the last time you faced a choice, a moment where the path ahead seemed clear, only to dissolve into a haze of possibilities the moment you stepped forward. Could it be that life, like the quantum world, thrives in this ambiguity, in the spaces between what is known and what is not? Perhaps the universe is not hiding from us, but inviting us to join the dance, to sway with its rhythms, rather than demand answers. There is a strange comfort in this thought, a quiet permission to let go of the need for control, to allow the world to unfold in its own elusive way. So, as we linger in this moment, let us not rush to define or conquer the uncertainty before us. Instead, let us sit with it, as one might sit by a fire on a cold, starless night, feeling the warmth of questions rather than the weight of answers. What if the universe, in its refusal to be fully known, is teaching us something about ourselves? About the beauty of not knowing, about the courage it takes to embrace the dance without seeing every step. Take a moment to reflect on this. What uncertainties in your own life might hold a hidden grace, a quiet invitation to move with the rhythm of the unknown? In this dance of uncertainty, there is no final bow, no moment where the music stops and all is revealed. There is only the endless interplay of shadow and light, of knowing and wondering, a choreography that stretches across the smallest particles to the farthest reaches of the cosmos. And perhaps that is enough, to be part of this mystery, to feel its pulse beneath our feet, even if we cannot name every step. For in the end, it may not be certainty we seek, but the courage to dance in the dark, trusting that the universe, like a silent partner, will guide us through the unseen. Imagine a quiet room, a sealed box resting on a table, its contents hidden from view. Inside, a mystery lingers, a cat poised on the edge of life and death, its fate uncertain until the lid is lifted. This is no ordinary thought experiment, but a window into the strangest corners of reality, where the act of looking can change everything. Welcome to the paradox of Schrödinger's cat, a riddle woven into the fabric of the quantum world, where the boundaries of existence blur and the very nature of truth seems to tremble under our gaze. Picture this box, unassuming yet heavy with implication. Within its confines, a mechanism is set, a vial of poison, a radioactive atom, a counter. If the atom decays, the poison is released, and the cat meets its end. If it does not, the cat lives. But here's the enigma. Until the box is opened, until an observer peers inside, the atom exists in a state of both decay and stability, and the cat, by extension, is both alive and dead, a superposition of fates, suspended in a realm where possibility reigns over certainty. Can such a state truly exist? Can something, or someone, be two opposing things at once, held in a fragile balance until reality is forced to choose? This thought experiment, conceived by Erwin Schrödinger in 1935, was not meant to be taken literally. It was a challenge, a provocation to the emerging ideas of quantum mechanics, a field that dared to suggest that the smallest building blocks of the universe do not conform to the rules we know. At the quantum level, particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously, only collapsing into a definite form when measured, when observed. Schrödinger's cat stretches this idea to the realm of the familiar, the tangible, a living creature, a beating heart, a final breath. It asks us to confront an unsettling possibility. Does reality depend on us to exist? Are we mere spectators, or are we co-creators of the world, shaping it with every glance, every choice to look or look away? Let's linger on that sealed box for a moment. Imagine the silence within, the cat unaware of the cosmic weight it carries. In that unseen space, life and death are not opposites, but companions, intertwined until the moment of revelation. It mirrors something deeper, doesn't it? How often do we, in our own lives, live in a state of uncertainty, suspended between outcomes, between who we are and who we might become? We carry our own sealed boxes, decisions unmade, paths untaken, truths we have yet to face. And like the observer in this experiment, it is often only when we dare to look, to confront the unknown, that the haze of possibility clears into something real. Take a moment to reflect on this. What sealed boxes do you hold in your own life? What truths remain hidden, waiting for the courage to lift the lid? Now, let's step beyond the personal and into the cosmic. If observation can collapse the quantum wave of possibilities into a single reality What does this say about the universe itself? Is there an objective world out there, solid and unchanging, independent of our perception? Or does reality flicker like a half-formed dream, waiting for a mind to give it shape? Some philosophers and scientists have pondered whether consciousness itself is the key, the force that breathes life into the abstract equations of quantum theory. If that's true, then every act of awareness, every moment of attention, becomes an act of creation, a quiet, invisible power we wield without fully understanding. Yet, there's a shadow to this idea, a whisper of unease. If reality hinges on observation, what happens to the unobserved? Does the cat in the box cease to exist in any meaningful way until the lid is lifted? Does the tree falling in a forest make no sound if no one is there to hear it? These questions tug at the edges of our understanding, pulling us into a space where certainty dissolves into mystery. Perhaps the universe is not a fixed stage on which we play our parts, but a canvas, incomplete until we dare to look, to question, to wonder. As we sit with this paradox, let's consider one final thread. Schrödinger's cat is not just a puzzle of science, but a mirror to our own existence. We too live in states of superposition, holding within us the potential for joy and sorrow, for triumph and failure, for countless versions of ourselves that have yet to be realized. And like the observer who opens the box, it is often through the act of choosing, of facing the unknown, that we collapse those possibilities into a single path. But even then, the mystery remains. For every choice we make, every lid we lift, are there other realities, other cats, other lives that linger just beyond our sight? Take a moment to reflect on this. What possibilities within you are waiting to be observed, to be brought into being, and what might remain forever unseen, hidden in the quiet boxes of your soul? So we leave the box on the table, its secrets, intact for now, a quiet reminder that reality is not always what it seems. In the strange dance of the quantum world, in the interplay of observation and existence, we find not just science, but a profound invitation to look deeper, to question more, to embrace the uncertainty that shapes not just particles, but us. And in that embrace, perhaps we glimpse a truth as elusive as the cat itself, that the act of seeking, of wondering, is what makes the universe and ourselves truly come alive. Imagine for a moment a ghost gliding through the twilight, its form flickering between shadow and light, impossible to pin down as one or the other. It is neither fully here nor fully elsewhere, defying every attempt to define its essence. This is the enigmatic heart of the universe at its most fundamental level, a realm where the very building blocks of reality refuse to be bound by the rules we thought we knew. Welcome to the mystery of wave-particle duality, a strange and beautiful truth that challenges everything we understand about the nature of existence. Picture a beam of light streaming through a quiet, empty room. To our eyes, it seems so simple, a steady glow, a straight path of illumination. But beneath this serene surface lies a secret. Light, as it turns out, is not just a stream of particles, tiny bullets of energy racing through space, nor is it merely a wave rippling through the fabric of reality like a whisper on water. It is both and neither, shifting its identity depending on how we choose to look at it. When we seek to capture light as a particle, it obliges, revealing itself as a photon, a discrete packet of energy. But when we search for its wave-like nature, it transforms, spreading out in patterns of interference, as if it had been a wave all along. How can something be two things at once, wearing different masks for different observers? This duality is not a trick or a flaw in our understanding, but a profound hint that reality itself may be far more fluid than we ever imagined. Consider for a moment the implications of this. In our everyday lives, we cling to the idea of a solid, predictable world. A chair is a chair. A stone is a stone. Objects with clear forms and fixed purposes. We build our lives on the assumption that things are as they appear, that the universe operates on principles of certainty and order. But wave-particle duality whispers a different story. It tells us that even the smallest fragments of existence, electrons, photons, the very stuff of matter and energy, defy such rigid categorization. They dance between states, elusive and ambiguous, as if to remind us that the world is not a collection of static truths, but a canvas of endless possibility. What does this mean for us, beings made of these very same particles? Are we too more than we seem, capable of shifting, of becoming, of existing in ways we cannot yet grasp? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your mind wander to the edges of what you believe is possible. Could it be that the boundaries we draw around ourselves, the labels we assign to who we are as illusory as the fixed nature of a photon? What if, like light, we are both particle and wave, both singular and boundless, both defined and undefined, waiting for the right moment, the right perspective, to reveal our truest form? This duality extends beyond light, touching every speck of matter in the cosmos. An electron, that tiny spark orbiting the heart of an atom, also plays this game of shadows. It can be a particle, pinpointed in space, or a wave, smeared across a spectrum of probabilities. When we fire electrons through a pair of slits, expecting them to behave as particles, they surprise us by creating patterns of light and dark, as if they had passed through both openings at once, interfering with themselves like ripples on a pond. It is as though the electron knows we are watching, choosing its path, or perhaps refusing to choose at all, until the act of observation forces it to commit. But even then, can we truly say we understand its nature, or are we merely catching a glimpse of one face of an unknowable mystery? This strange behavior shakes the foundations of what we call reality. It suggests that the universe does not adhere to our classical notions of how things should be. There is no absolute is or isn't at this level of existence. Only a spectrum of maybes, a twilight zone where certainty dissolves into ambiguity. Perhaps this is not a limitation, but a liberation. If even the smallest pieces of the cosmos can exist in such a state of flux, might we too find freedom in embracing the unknown? Could the rigid structures of our thoughts, our beliefs, our very identities be softened by this realization that nothing is ever truly fixed, that everything holds within it the potential to be something else? As we sit with this idea, let the quiet weight of it settle over you. Imagine yourself as a wave, spreading out across the possibilities of your life, untethered by the need to be one thing or another. Or picture yourself as a particle, a singular point of clarity amid the chaos, yet knowing that beneath this form lies a deeper, more elusive truth. The wave-particle duality does not just describe the behavior of light or matter, it mirrors something within us, a tension between definition and freedom, between being and becoming. It urges us to question the solidity of the world around us, to wonder if perhaps the greatest truths are not those we can hold, but those that slip through our fingers like ghosts in the twilight. So, as the night deepens and the world grows still, let this mystery linger in your thoughts. Consider how the smallest elements of existence defy our attempts to pin them down, and ask yourself, what might I become if I too embraced such ambiguity? What hidden forms lie waiting within me, ready to emerge when seen through a different lens? In the quiet of this moment, there are no answers, only the gentle invitation to wonder, to drift, to let the boundaries of what you know dissolve into the vast, unknowable dance of the universe. Imagine, for a moment, a single particle suspended in the vast emptiness of the universe. A speck of existence so small it defies comprehension. Yet within it lies a secret that could unravel the very nature of reality. This is the realm of quantum superposition, a place where the rules we know bend and twist into something stranger, something almost poetic. Picture this particle, not as a fixed point, but as a chorus of voices, each singing a different note, every possible state of being held in perfect harmony until the moment of decision. It exists as everything it could be, all at once, a silent symphony of potential waiting to collapse into a single, defining tone. This idea, at first, feels like a riddle whispered by the cosmos itself. How can something, or someone, be many things at the same time? Yet, as we linger on this thought, it begins to resonate with something deeply human. Consider your own life, the countless paths that stretch out before you at any given moment. In the quiet of your mind, are you not in some way all the versions of yourself you could become? The artist sketching dreams on a canvas, the wanderer chasing horizons, the quiet soul finding peace in stillness. All these possibilities hum within you, coexisting in a delicate balance until a choice is made, until the world demands you pick. One note from the chorus. In the quantum world, this state of superposition is not mere metaphor, but a fundamental truth. A particle can spin up and down, be here and there, exist in every conceivable configuration, until the act of observation forces it to settle into one reality. It's as if the universe holds its breath, allowing infinite possibilities to dance in the shadows until a gaze, a measurement, pins it down. But what does this tell us about the nature of existence? Does reality only emerge when we look at it, or does it wait, trembling with potential, for something to give it form? Take a moment to reflect on this. How often do we, too, remain in a state of indecision, suspended between who we are and who we might become, until life itself forces us to choose? This strange phenomenon echoes through history as well, though in quieter, less tangible ways. Think of the ancient philosophers who pondered the nature of being, Heraclitus, who spoke of change as the only constant, or Plato, who imagined a world of perfect forms beyond our flawed perceptions. They too grappled with the idea that what we see might only be a shadow of a deeper, more complex truth. Superposition, in a sense, feels like their musings made manifest, a reminder that reality is not a single solid thing, but a tapestry, woven from threads of possibility, each strand shimmering with what could be. And yet, there's a haunting beauty in this uncertainty. To exist in superposition is to embody freedom in its purest form, to be unshackled from the weight of a single identity or fate. But it also carries a quiet melancholy, for the moment we choose, the moment we collapse into one state, all other, possibilities fade like echoes in the night. In our own lives, every decision we make, every word spoken, every path taken, closes the door on 1,000 other worlds we might have known. There's a loss in that, isn't there? A silent grief, for the selves we'll never become, the dreams we'll never chase. Yet perhaps there's also a kind of peace in knowing that, for a fleeting moment, we held all those possibilities within us, a chorus of voices singing every note until one was chosen. Let this thought linger as you drift deeper into reflection. Imagine yourself as that particle, suspended in a state of boundless potential, every version of your life unfolding in perfect harmony. What would it mean to stay there, just for a little while longer, before the world asks you to decide? In the stillness, can you hear the faint hum of all you could be, whispering softly in the dark? Take a moment to reflect on this, and let the mystery of your own superposition carry you into a quieter, deeper place. Imagine, for a moment, a bond so profound that it defies the very fabric of space and time. A connection so intimate that two fragments of the universe, separated by unimaginable distances, remain as one, echoing each other's state as if they share a single soul. This is not the stuff of poetry or myth, but a strange and wondrous truth at the heart of the quantum world. It is called entanglement, a phenomenon that whispers of a deeper unity, a hidden thread weaving through the cosmos, binding all things, in ways we are only beginning to fathom. Let us journey into this enigma, into a realm where the ordinary rules of separation and distance crumble. Picture two particles, born from the same cosmic event, perhaps in the fiery heart of a distant star or the quiet collision of energy in a laboratory. These particles are not merely siblings, they are entangled, intertwined in a way that transcends our understanding of connection. If one is measured, its state, its very essence, determines the state of the other, no matter how far apart they drift. Millions of miles, entire galaxies could lie between them, yet they remain linked, as if an invisible cord stretches across the void, whispering secrets from one to the other in an instant. What does this mean for the nature of reality itself? Could it be that beneath the surface of our fragmented world, beneath the illusion of separateness, there lies a profound oneness? That every particle, every speck of dust, every fleeting thought in your mind is connected to the farthest reaches of the universe through some unseen web? The idea is both comforting and unsettling, like gazing into a mirror and seeing not just your own reflection, but the faces of countless others, stretching back through time and forward into eternity. Take a moment to reflect on this. How does it feel to imagine that nothing is truly isolated? That every part of you is bound to something vast and unknowable? This phenomenon of entanglement challenges the very foundations of how we perceive the world. In our everyday lives, we trust in the solidity of distance, in the belief that what happens here does not ripple across the stars. Yet, at the quantum level, this illusion shatters. There is no here or there, no before or after in the way we might think. Instead, there is a kind of timeless unity, a dance of interdependence that seems to mock our notions of individuality. Are we too entangled in ways we cannot see? Are the choices we make, the emotions we feel, somehow resonating with others across the expanse of existence, like a note struck on a string that vibrates in harmony with another, far away? Consider the implications of this for a moment. If entanglement suggests that the universe is fundamentally interconnected, what does it say about the barriers we erect between ourselves and others, between our past and our future? Could it be that these divisions are mere illusions, shadows cast by a mind that struggles to grasp the whole? In the quiet of this thought, there is a kind of peace, a gentle invitation to let go of the need to stand apart, to see ourselves, not as solitary beings, but as threads in a tapestry too vast to fully comprehend. Perhaps entanglement is a reminder of something ancient, something we have always known in the quiet corners of our hearts. The mystics of old spoke of a unity that binds all life, a divine thread running through every soul, every stone, every breath of wind. The poets wrote of lovers whose hearts beat as one, even across oceans. And now, in the language of science, we find echoes of these truths. Proof, perhaps, that the universe itself is a story of connection, written in the silent language of particles and probabilities. Take a moment to reflect on this. Is there someone or something you feel bound to, beyond the reach of time or space? As we linger in this mystery, let us not rush to answers. The beauty of entanglement lies not in solving its riddle, but in feeling its weight, in letting it stir within us a sense of wonder. What if every act of kindness, every fleeting glance, every whispered dream leaves an imprint not just here, but everywhere? What if the universe is not a collection of isolated fragments, but a single boundless whole, trembling with the echoes of every thought and deed? In this quiet contemplation, there is no need to grasp or define. Simply be with the possibility that you are never truly alone, that somewhere in the vastness of it all, something mirrors your existence, resonating with the same silent pulse. And so, we rest in this thought, letting it settle like a soft mist over the landscape of the mind. Entanglement, this cosmic connection, invites us to see beyond the edges of ourselves, to imagine a reality where separation is but a dream and unity is the only truth. Let this idea linger as you breathe, as you drift, as you wonder what unseen threads might tie you to the infinite. Imagine for a moment that the very fabric of reality trembles under the weight of your attention, that the simple act of looking, of bearing witness, could ripple through the unseen layers of the universe and change what is. This is not the stuff of dreams or idle fantasy, but a quiet, enigmatic truth woven into the heart of the quantum world, a phenomenon so subtle yet so profound that it forces us to question the very nature of existence. What if the boundary between you and the world is not as firm as it seems? What if, in the mere act of observing, you become a creator? Let us delve into this mystery, into a realm where the laws of physics seem to bend under the gaze of the curious. In the quantum world, particles, those infinitesimally small building blocks of everything, do not behave as we might expect. They do not sit still, waiting to be understood, nor do they follow the predictable paths of a thrown stone or a falling leaf. Instead, they exist in a state of flux, a shimmering dance of possibilities, until something or someone decides to measure them. It is in that moment of measurement, that split second of attention, that reality seems to snap into focus, as if the universe itself chooses a form only when it knows it is being watched. But here lies the enigma. The act of observing does not merely reveal what is, it alters it. A particle's position, its speed, its very essence can shift under scrutiny, as though reality is shy, reshaping itself to fit the story we seek to tell. Consider this for a moment. A beam of light, a single photon hurtling through the void. Left alone, it exists as a wave of probability, a ghostly smear of potential stretching across space. But direct your instruments toward it, focus your intent, and suddenly it collapses into a definite point, a particle caught in the act. Why does this happen? Why does the universe seem to care that we are watching? Is it possible that our gaze carries a kind of unseen power, a quiet influence that ripples through the fabric of what is? Or is this merely a trick of perspective, a limit to our tools, a reminder that there are secrets we may never fully grasp? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your mind wander to a time when you felt the weight of someone's eyes upon you. How did it change the way you moved, the way you spoke, even the way you thought? There is something transformative in being seen, something that sharpens the edges of who we are. Could it be that the universe, too, feels this pull, this need to define itself under the pressure of observation? Or is this connection deeper still? A hint that the line between the observer and the observed is not a line at all, but a mirror, an endless reflection of consciousness and creation. Let us go further, beyond the mechanics of particles and waves, and into the philosophical weight of this idea. If reality shifts when we look at it, what does this say about the world we inhabit? Are the mountains, the oceans, the stars themselves shaped by the fact that we are here to witness them? In ancient times, philosophers pondered whether a tree falling in a forest makes a sound if no one is there to hear it. Now, in the light of quantum truths, we must ask, does the tree even fall at all if no one is there to see it? Is existence itself dependent on the act of perception, a cosmic play that unfolds only when there is an audience? This thought can feel both exhilarating and unsettling, as if we are caught in a dance with the universe, each step of ours prompting a response from the unknown. Perhaps this is why the quantum world feels so mysterious, so elusive, because it implicates us. It whispers that we are not mere spectators, standing apart from the grand tapestry of being, but active participants, threads woven into its very design. And yet, this raises another question, one that lingers in the quiet spaces of the mind. If our observation shapes reality, what happens when we look away? Does the world dissolve back into a haze of possibilities, waiting for the next glance to give it form? Or does it persist, unseen, in ways we cannot fathom? Let this idea settle over you like a soft shadow. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast, unseen ocean, where every wave is a potential, every ripple a choice. Your gaze, your attention, becomes the wind that stirs these waters, crafting islands of certainty from the chaos. But with each island you create, countless others slip beneath the surface, lost to the depths of what might have been. There is a strange beauty in this, a quiet responsibility. For if we shape the world by witnessing it, then every moment of awareness, every fleeting thought, becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of existence. Take a moment to reflect on this. Breathe in the weight of your own presence, the subtle power of your attention. What are you creating right now, simply by being here, by listening, by wondering? And what unseen wonders might be waiting just beyond the edge of your sight for the moment you turn to look? In this quiet dance between observer and observed, perhaps the greatest mystery is not the quantum world itself, but the role we play within it. A role as ancient as the stars and as fleeting as a whisper in the night. Imagine for a moment a world where the impossible becomes possible, where the solid and unyielding barriers that stand before us are not as absolute as they seem. Picture a tiny particle, smaller than the smallest grain of sand, approaching a wall, a barrier that should, by all rights, stop it in its tracks. Yet, in a silent act of defiance, this particle does not halt. It does not bounce back. Instead, it slips through as effortlessly as a whisper through the night, as if the wall itself were no more than a fleeting illusion. This is the strange and haunting phenomenon known as quantum tunneling, a quiet rebellion against the rules of the reality we thought we knew. In the realm of the infinitesimally small, where the laws of physics as we understand them seem to unravel, particles possess an almost ghostly ability to pass through obstacles that should be impenetrable. It's as though they exist in a state of possibility, unbound by the rigid constraints of the material world. A particle, faced with a barrier, does not always behave as a solid object would. Instead, its nature as a wave of probability allows it to seep through, to find a path where none should exist. Scientists describe this as a statistical anomaly, a quirk of quantum mechanics, where the likelihood of such an event, though vanishingly small, is never truly zero. But beyond the equations and probabilities lies a deeper, more mysterious truth. A truth that feels almost poetic in its defiance of the expected. Think of it as a kind of cosmic sleight of hand. The particle does not smash through the wall or carve a tunnel in the traditional sense. No, it transcends the barrier altogether, existing for a fleeting moment on both sides at once, as if to remind us that the boundaries we perceive are not as fixed as they appear. This act of tunneling is not just a scientific curiosity, it is a window into the surreal nature of the universe itself, a universe that seems to delight in subverting our assumptions. How often do we, in our own lives, face walls that seem insurmountable? Obstacles of doubt, fear, or circumstance that loom before us like impenetrable stone. And yet, might there be a way through? A hidden path not of brute force, but of quiet persistence, of daring to believe in the improbable. Consider the implications of this phenomenon on a grander scale. Quantum tunneling is not merely a trick of subatomic particles. It is a fundamental process that shapes the cosmos. In the hearts of stars, where unimaginable pressures and temperatures reign, tunneling allows protons to overcome the repulsive forces that should keep them apart, enabling the fusion that powers the sun and lights our world. Without this silent, ghostly passage through barriers, the stars themselves might never have ignited, and the universe as we know it might have remained a cold, lifeless void. There is something profoundly humbling in this thought, that the very light that warms our skin, the energy that sustains life, owes its existence to a process that defies our intuition, a process that operates in the realm of the unseen and the impossible. Take a moment to reflect on this. How often do we underestimate the hidden forces at work in our own lives, the unseen possibilities that linger just beyond the edge of our perception? Like the particle that tunnels through the impossible, might we too carry within us the capacity to transcend the barriers we face, not through force, but through a kind of quiet, persistent faith in what could be. This idea of tunneling, of passing through the impassable, mirrors something deep within the human spirit. We are, in our own way, beings of probability, navigating a world of walls and obstacles, often unsure of what lies on the other side. Yet history is filled with stories of those who defied the impossible, not by breaking down the barriers before them, but but by finding a way through, a path that others could not see. Think of the dreamers who dared to imagine flight before the first airplane took to the skies, or the thinkers who envisioned connections across oceans long before the internet wove us together. Their successes were not always born of certainty, but of a willingness to lean into the unknown, to trust in the improbable, to tunnel through the walls of doubt and limitation. There is a quiet mystery in this parallel between the quantum and the human. Perhaps the universe, in revealing the strange mechanics of tunneling, is whispering a lesson to us, a reminder that the barriers we perceive are not always as solid as they seem. Perhaps, in the smallest corners of reality, in the dance of particles and probabilities, there lies a reflection of our own resilience, our own capacity to slip through the walls that confine us, to emerge on the other side, transformed. What if the impossible is not a destination, but a challenge to see beyond the surface, to trust in the hidden paths that await? As we linger on this thought, let the weight of it settle into your mind like a gentle tide. The universe, in its quiet, enigmatic way, seems to suggest that impossibility is not the end, but the beginning of something unforeseen. And so, we are left to wonder, what barriers in our own lives might we tunnel through, not with force, but with the subtle, persistent belief that there is always a way even when the path remains hidden in shadow. Imagine for a moment a silent laboratory late at night, where the air hums with the faint energy of the unseen. On a table lies a peculiar setup, 2 narrow slits carved into a thin barrier, a screen beyond them waiting to catch whispers of something beyond comprehension. Electrons, those elusive fragments of reality, are sent forth, one by one, toward the slits. What happens next defies everything we thought we knew about the world. They pass through, not as mere particles choosing a path, but as something stranger, something that seems to know both routes at once. On the screen, a pattern emerges, not of simple lines, but of waves interfering with one another, as if each electron danced with a ghost of itself. Welcome to the enigma of the Double-Slit Experiment, a quiet revelation that peels back the curtain of reality to show us a universe woven from choice, mystery, and perhaps illusion. Let's linger here in this moment of wonder, where the smallest building blocks of existence seem to play tricks on our understanding. When an electron approaches the 2 slits, it does not commit to one path or the other. It is as if it splits its very being, traveling through both openings simultaneously, its essence stretched thin across possibilities. And yet, when it reaches the screen, it leaves a mark as a single point, a particle once more. But the pattern that forms over time, with countless electrons making this journey, is not random. It is a series of light and dark bands, a signature of interference, as though each electron interfered with itself, as though it knew of the other path it could have taken. How can something so small, so seemingly insignificant, act with such awareness? Does it choose, or is it bound by a deeper script we cannot yet read? Consider the implications of this strange behavior. If we place a detector at one of the slits, eager to catch the electron in the act, to see which path it truly takes, the pattern changes. The interference vanishes, and the screen shows 2 simple bands, as if the electron, now observed, has been forced to pick a side. It is as though the act of watching strips away the mystery, collapsing the wave of possibility into a single, mundane truth. What does this tell us about the nature of reality? Is the world only what it is when we look at it, or does it hold countless unseen dances when our eyes are turned away? Take a moment to reflect on this. Imagine yourself as the electron, poised at a crossroads, your future a blur of potential, until someone or something demands you choose. This experiment, first conducted over 2 centuries ago with light and later with particles, whispers a profound question into the stillness of our minds. Are we too bound by such strange rules of probability and observation? Think of the choices you face, the paths that stretch before you like those two slits. Do you walk both roads in some hidden way? Your life a wave of possibilities until a decision or a consequence forces a single mark upon the screen of your existence? Or is free will itself an illusion, a comforting story we tell ourselves, while the universe calculates its probabilities in silence? The double-slit experiment does not offer answers, but it invites us to sit with the uncertainty, to feel the weight of a cosmos that might be far less solid, far less certain than we ever dared to imagine. Let's drift deeper into this thought. Picture a world where every choice, every fleeting moment, is like that electron passing through the slits. Perhaps, in some unseen realm, all outcomes play out, interfering with one another, creating patterns we cannot see but only feel in the quiet corners of our hearts. Perhaps destiny is not a straight line, but a wave, rippling through the fabric of what could be, until reality, through chance, through will, through observation, picks its mark. What if the universe itself is watching, waiting for us to pass, through our own barriers, curious to see which pattern we will leave behind? There is a gentle mystery here, a sense that we are part of something vast and unknowable, a dance of choice and chance choreographed in the shadows of the quantum realm. As we linger in this thought, let the weight of it settle over you like a soft blanket in the quiet of the night. The double-slit experiment is more than a scientific curiosity. It is a mirror held up to our own existence, reflecting back questions of freedom, fate, and the nature of being. Are we particles, fixed in our paths, or waves, boundless until pinned down by the gaze of circumstance? Take a moment to breathe with this idea. Let it unfold in your mind like a ripple on still water. In this silent space, there are no answers, only the gentle hum of possibility, inviting you to wonder, to dream, and to rest in the mystery of it all. Imagine for a moment that time, as you know it, is not a steady river flowing from past to future, but a shimmering mirage, a trick of perception that dissolves when you look too closely. What if, at the deepest level of reality, the very notion of before and after becomes a riddle without an answer? In the quantum realm, where the building blocks of existence hum with secrets, time seems to blur, to fold in on itself, as if the universe has forgotten how to keep track of its own story. Let us wander into this strange territory together, where the ticking of the clock loses its authority, and the past, present, and future become mere whispers in the cosmic wind. In our everyday world, time feels unbreakable, an invisible thread that stitches our moments into a linear tale. We wake, we work, we dream, and each second slips into the next with a certainty we rarely question. But descend into the quantum scale, where particles flicker like ghosts in a fog, and this certainty crumbles. Here, the rules of cause and effect, those faithful guardians of our understanding, begin to waver. Experiments have shown that events at this level can appear to defy the order we hold dear, as if an effect might ripple backward, nudging its own cause into being. Imagine a pebble dropped into a pond, but the waves somehow reach the shore before the stone even touches the water. How can this be? Is time merely a construct, a story we tell ourselves to make sense of a universe that laughs at our need for sequence? Consider the implications of this fluidity. If time can bend and blur in the quantum realm, what does that mean for our own existence? We often see our lives as a journey with a clear beginning, middle, and end, a path carved through the years, marked by milestones and memories. But what if, beneath the surface, our own essence is just as untethered as those quantum particles? Could it be that every moment we've lived, every choice we've made, exists simultaneously, layered like translucent sheets of glass, each visible but untouchable? The idea is dizzying, almost unsettling, yet there's a strange comfort in it too. If time is not a chain but a dance, then perhaps we are freer than we realize, unbound by the weight of what has been or what must be. Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your mind drift to a memory, Any memory, a fleeting instant from your past. Perhaps it's the warmth of a childhood afternoon, or the quiet ache of a goodbye. Now imagine that moment not as something behind you, but as something still alive, vibrating alongside the present, as real now as it was then. Does it change how you feel about your story, knowing that time might not be the rigid keeper we imagine it to be? This blurring of temporal boundaries raises profound questions about the nature of reality itself. If time can appear reversed or irrelevant at the quantum level, are we wrong to trust our perception of it at all? Philosophers and scientists alike have wrestled with this mystery, some suggesting that time is an emergent property, a byproduct of our consciousness rather than a fundamental truth. Others propose that the universe operates in a timeless state, a vast now where every possibility unfolds at once, and it is only our limited gaze that slices it into fragments of before and after. Picture yourself standing at the edge of an endless ocean, watching waves rise and fall. Each wave seems separate, a distinct event in time, but beneath the surface, they are all part of the same boundless sea. Is time too just a ripple on the surface of something deeper, something eternal? There's a poetic melancholy in this thought, a quiet reminder of how little we truly grasp. We build our lives around clocks and calendars, around the urgency of deadlines and the nostalgia of yesterdays, yet the quantum world hints at a reality where none of that matters. Perhaps this is an invitation not to despair, but to wonder. If time is an illusion, then every moment becomes a kind of eternity, a space where we can linger without hurry, without regret. Imagine living with that awareness, feeling the weight of each second not as something slipping away, but as something infinite, a tiny universe unto itself. As we sit with this idea, let it settle into the quiet corners of your mind. The quantum realm, with its defiance of time's arrow, challenges us to rethink not just the universe, but ourselves. Are we creatures bound by chronology, or are we too timeless in some hidden way? Could it be that our joys, our sorrows, our very being are not points on a line, but echoes in a vast, unending chorus? There are no easy answers here, only questions that shimmer like stars in a night sky, distant, beautiful, and just out of reach. And perhaps that's enough to simply gaze at them, to let their mystery wash over us as we drift into thought or into dreams. Imagine, for a moment, that the universe is not a collection of solid things, not a vast expanse of objects and emptiness, but rather an endless ocean of energy, shimmering and invisible, stretching beyond the boundaries of comprehension. Beneath the surface of everything we see, touch, and feel, there lies a hidden fabric, a field of infinite potential where the building blocks of reality are not particles, not even specks of matter, but mere ripples, fleeting disturbances in an unseen sea. This is the realm of quantum field theory, a vision of existence so profound, so quiet in its mystery, that it asks us to rethink what we are and what it means to be at all. Picture this ocean in your mind, an expanse without edge or end, its surface calm yet alive with unseen currents. Every particle, every atom that makes up the stars, the earth, and even the breath in your lungs, is not a solitary thing, but a momentary wave, a brief crest rising from this boundless field. A photon of light darting through the cosmos is a ripple. An electron spinning in its silent dance around a nucleus is another. And what of us? Are we too just disturbances in this infinite energy? Temporary forms emerging from the depths, only to sink back into the stillness from which we came. There is something haunting in this thought, something that whispers of impermanence, yet also of unity, a reminder that we are not separate from the cosmos, but woven into its very essence. This field, this underlying reality, is not something we can grasp with our senses. It evades the touch of our hands, the gaze of our eyes. It exists in equations, in the quiet musings of physicists who have peered into the heart of nature and found not solidity, but vibration. Long ago, we imagined the universe as a grand machine, a clockwork of gears and levers ticking with predictable rhythm. But now, we see something different. An ocean of energy where nothing is fixed, where everything is a fleeting expression of something deeper, something eternal. Does this change how you see yourself? Does it shift the weight of your existence to know that beneath the skin, beneath the bones, you are a wave in an endless sea? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your mind drift to the idea of being a ripple, a temporary shape in an infinite field. Feel the quiet of that thought, the way it dissolves the boundaries between you and the vastness around you. Consider too the implications of this vision. If all things are ripples, then nothing truly begins or ends. There is only transformation, a ceaseless play of energy taking form and dissolving again. The ancient philosophers spoke of impermanence, of the fleeting nature of life. But here, in the language of science, we find an echo of their wisdom. A flower blooms as a wave in the field, its beauty a brief crest before it returns to the unseen. A mountain rises, endures for millennia, yet it, too, is a slow-moving ripple, destined to erode back into the ocean of energy. And what of our thoughts, our dreams, our very consciousness? Are they, too, disturbances in this field? Momentary patterns that shimmer for a time before fading into the whole. There is a quiet melancholy in this, but also a strange comfort. If we are waves, then we are never truly alone. We are part of the same ocean, connected to every other ripple, every other form, the light of a distant star, the whisper of a breeze, the heartbeat of a stranger on the other side of the world. All are expressions of the same field, the same underlying reality. Perhaps this is why, in moments of stillness, we sometimes feel a connection to something greater, a sense of belonging to a wholeness we cannot name. Could it be that we are sensing this field, this infinite ocean, in the silence of our own being? Let this thought linger for a moment. Imagine yourself as part of this vast energy, not separate, not isolated, but interwoven with all that is. Feel the weight of individuality soften, just for a breath, as you dissolve into the greater current. As we sit with this idea, a question emerges from the quiet, like a ripple of its own. If we are disturbances in a field, temporary waves destined to return to the source, then what is the meaning of our brief cresting? Is there purpose in being a wave, in rising for a moment to dance upon the surface of existence? Or is meaning itself just another illusion, a story we tell ourselves as we shimmer in the light of consciousness? The quantum field offers no answers, only the mystery of its presence. It hums beneath all things, indifferent to our questions, yet inviting us to ask them nonetheless. Perhaps the act of wondering, of reaching for understanding, is itself a kind of ripple, a movement of energy that connects us to the infinite, even as we fade. And so, we are left with this image of the universe as an ocean, vast and unknowable, where all that we are and all that we know are but fleeting waves upon its surface. There is something humbling in this, something that quiets the mind and draws us inward. We are not the center of this field, nor are we apart from it. We are simply part of its endless motion, rising and falling in a rhythm we cannot fully comprehend. As you carry this thought with you, let it settle into the stillness of your being, like a wave returning to the calm of the sea. Imagine for a moment that every choice you've ever made, every fleeting decision, no matter how small, has not just shaped your life, but has birthed entire worlds beyond your reach. A single moment, a seemingly trivial act, like choosing to turn left instead of right at a quiet crossroads under a twilight sky, might have split reality itself into countless fragments, each holding a different version of you, living a life you'll never know. This is the strange and haunting vision offered by the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, a theory that dares to suggest that the universe is not a singular linear story, but a sprawling tree of infinite branches, each limb stretching into an unseen eternity. Let's linger on that image of the crossroads. Picture yourself standing there, the air cool against your skin, the fading light casting long shadows across the path. To the left, the road curves into a forest, dark and whispering with secrets. To the right, it opens to a field, wide and bathed in the last golden hues of day. You hesitate, feeling the weight of the moment, though you cannot name why. In that split second of indecision, something profound happens. At least, if we dare to entertain this theory. The universe, at its deepest quantum level, fractures. One version of you steps into the forest, where the rustling leaves might lead to a chance encounter that alters the course of your days. Another version of you strides into the field, where the open sky might inspire a quiet revelation, a thought that changes how you see the world. And in that fracturing, not just two, but endless variations of you come into being, each living out a slightly different tale, shaped by the tiniest nuances of choice and chance. This idea, born from the enigmatic behavior of particles at the quantum scale, suggests that every event, every possibility, no matter how improbable, finds its own reality. When a particle faces a moment of uncertainty, whether to spin this way or that, to be here or there, the universe, rather than collapsing into a single outcome, splits. And with each split, a new world is born, carrying forward a different thread of what might have been. It's as if reality is a vast tapestry, woven not from a single strand, but from an infinite weave of possibilities, each thread a story of its own. What does this mean for us, beings who feel so bound by the weight of our decisions, by the singular path we perceive ourselves to tread? Could it be that every regret, every unchosen dream, lives on somewhere in a parallel existence we can never touch? Take a moment to reflect on this. Imagine a choice you made long ago, one that still lingers in the quiet corners of your mind. Perhaps it was a word you spoke, or one you held back. Perhaps it was a door you opened, or one you let close. Now, picture a world where the opposite unfolded. What does that version of you look like? Are they happier, sadder, or simply different in ways you cannot fathom? The many worlds interpretation whispers that they are real as you are now, living out their own joys and sorrows in a realm forever out of reach. There is something both comforting and unsettling in this thought. Comforting, because it suggests that no possibility is truly lost. Unsettling, because it reminds us how vast and unknowable the cosmos might be, how fragmented our own existence could be across the infinite. But let's delve deeper into the implications of this fractured reality. If every choice spawns a new world, does that diminish the weight of our decisions or magnify them? In one sense, it could free us from the burden of regret. If every path is taken somewhere, then perhaps there is no wrong turn, only different journeys. Yet, in another sense, it makes each moment achingly significant, for every choice is the seed of a new universe, a new self. Are we then creators of worlds without even knowing it? Or are we merely passengers, swept along by the ceaseless branching of reality, unaware of the countless others who bear our name, our face, but not our story? Consider, too, the loneliness that might hide within this vision. If every choice sets us on a solitary branch, diverging further and further from those we love, are there worlds where we never meet the souls who mean the most to us in this life? Are there versions of us who walk through existence without ever knowing the warmth of a certain smile, the comfort of a familiar voice? Or perhaps, in some distant reality, we find connections we've never dreamed of here, bonds that heal wounds we carry now. The many worlds interpretation offers no answers, only questions, each one a quiet ripple in the still waters of the mind. Take a moment to reflect on this. Close your eyes, if you wish, and let your thoughts drift to a person or a moment that shaped who you are. Now imagine a world where that moment never happened, or happened differently. Does it change who you might have become? Does it alter the essence of you? Or is there something deeper, something unchangeable, that persists across every version of your story? As we sit with these ideas, there is a strange beauty in the notion that the universe might be so generous, so boundless as to grant every possibility a stage of its own. It paints reality as a kind of cosmic poem, where no line is ever erased, where every draft is preserved in its own separate book. Yet it also cloaks the world in mystery, for we can never peek into those other volumes, never know the tales they tell. We are left with only this branch, this singular path beneath our feet, to walk as best we can, wondering always about the roads not taken, the worlds not seen. And perhaps that wonder, that quiet ache for the unknown, is itself a kind of connection, a thread that ties us in spirit if not in substance to all the selves we might have been. Imagine a universe where distance means nothing, where the vast expanse of space and the relentless march of time are mere illusions, fragile constructs that crumble under the weight of a deeper truth. Picture two tiny particles, born in the same fleeting moment, bound by a connection so profound that no amount of separation can sever it. They drift apart, perhaps across a room, perhaps across galaxies. Yet when one trembles, the other feels it instantly, as if no barrier, no void, no rule of physics could stand between them. This is the enigma of quantum non-locality, a phenomenon that whispers of a reality far stranger, far more intimate than we could ever dare to imagine. Let's linger on this thought for a moment. In the quantum realm, entangled particles seem to defy the very fabric of space and time. According to the laws we've built to make sense of our world, nothing, not even light itself, can travel faster than a certain cosmic limit. And yet, here we find a silent dialogue between particles, an instantaneous exchange that laughs in the face of such boundaries. When one particle spins in a particular direction, its distant twin mirrors the motion in the same heartbeat, as if they are not two separate entities but one soul stretched across the universe. How can this be? Is there a hidden mechanism, a secret language of the cosmos we've yet to decipher? Or does this phenomenon point to something even more unfathomable? A reality where separation itself is a mirage, a trick of perception in a universe that is, at its core, utterly unified. Consider the implications of this as you let your mind wander. If two particles can remain connected across unimaginable distances, what does that say about the nature of connection itself? Could it be that the apparent isolation we feel, the spaces between us, the silences that grow with time, is not as real as we believe? Perhaps beneath the surface of our fragmented experience, there exists an unseen web, a tapestry of invisible threads that bind not just particles, but all things, all beings, all moments. Think of a memory that stirs your heart, a person long gone whose presence you can still feel in the quiet of the night. Is it possible that, in some ineffable way, you are still linked, still entangled, beyond the reach of space and time? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your thoughts drift to the idea of a world without true separation, a cosmos where every ripple, every whisper echoes through the whole. What would it mean to live with this awareness, to see every encounter, every fleeting glance, as a thread in an endless weave? Now, let's delve deeper into the mystery. Quantum non-locality challenges the very foundations of how we understand reality. It suggests that the universe might not be a collection of isolated parts, each ticking along in its own lonely rhythm, but rather a singular, indivisible whole, a vast ocean where every wave, no matter how small, disturbs the entire surface. Some thinkers have wondered if this points to a dimension beyond our perception, a realm where the rules of distance and delay simply do not apply. Others speculate that time and space, as we know them, are but shadows cast by a deeper truth, a scaffolding we've built to navigate a reality too strange to grasp directly. What if the speed of light is not a universal law, but a local custom, a boundary that holds only in the shallow waters of our understanding? And so, we are left with questions that hum like a quiet melody in the mind. If non-locality reveals a universe unbound by the constraints we thought absolute, what else might? We have misunderstood? Could the apparent chaos of our lives, the seeming randomness of joy and sorrow, be part of a hidden order, a cosmic dance where every step is felt by all? Imagine standing on the edge of this realization, gazing into a reality where every moment, every choice reverberates across an infinite expanse, touching lives and worlds we cannot see. It is both humbling and haunting to consider that we might be far more connected, far more significant than we ever dared to believe. As you let these thoughts settle, allow yourself to rest in the mystery. There is no need for answers tonight, no urgency to pin down the unknowable. Instead, feel the quiet pull of this idea, the gentle weight of a universe that might, in its deepest essence, be one. Let it linger as a soft whisper in your mind, a reminder that even in our solitude, we are never truly alone. Imagine for a moment that the fabric of reality itself is not just woven by the stars or the vastness of space, but by something far more intimate, your own mind. What if the very act of thinking, of being aware, holds a power so profound that it shapes the world around us, not through hands or tools, but through the quiet flicker of consciousness? This is not the realm of fantasy, but a question that lingers at the edge of science, where the strange and beautiful world of quantum physics dares to ask, does the mind play a role in creating reality? Let us wander into this enigma together, stepping softly into a landscape where the boundaries between the physical and the ethereal blur. In the quantum realm, particles exist in a state of endless possibility, hovering in a delicate balance of what could be until they are observed. It is as though the universe waits, holding its breath, for a witness to decide its fate. When we measure a particle, when we turn our gaze upon it, this sea of potential collapses into a single, defined state. A wave of probabilities becomes a tangible point, as if our awareness itself is the sculptor, chiseling chaos into form. But what does this mean for us? Beings of thought and wonder, standing at the crossroads of science and mysticism. Consider a quiet lake at dawn, its surface a perfect mirror, reflecting the pale light of a new day. Beneath that stillness, unseen, currents swirl, holding countless possibilities of movement, of ripples, of waves, until a single pebble is tossed into its depths. The moment it touches the water, the lake chooses its path, ripples spreading outward in a pattern that could not have been predicted before that precise act. Is our consciousness that pebble, disturbing the infinite potential of the quantum world, forcing it to reveal itself in one shape or another? Or are we more than mere disturbers, perhaps co-creators, painting the canvas of existence with every thought, every fleeting moment of awareness? This idea stretches back through time, echoing in the musings of ancient philosophers who pondered the nature of perception and reality. In the early 20th century, as quantum theory emerged from the minds of brilliant thinkers, some began to whisper that consciousness might not be a passive observer, but an active participant. John von Neumann, a mathematician of staggering insight, suggested that the collapse of quantum states, those moments when possibility becomes certainty, might be tied to the mind of the observer. It was as if the universe needed a witness, a sentient presence, to complete its story. Could it be that our thoughts, intangible and fleeting as they are, carry a weight that ripples through the very structure of existence? Take a moment to reflect on this. Feel the quiet weight of your own awareness, the silent hum of your mind as it wanders through these ideas. What if, in this very instant, your consciousness is reaching out, touching the unseen edges of reality, shaping something beyond the grasp of your senses? Yet, this notion is not without its shadows. If consciousness plays a role in collapsing quantum states, where does the boundary lie between the observer and the observed? Are we separate from the universe, watching it unfold like spectators at a cosmic theater? Or are we woven into its very essence, threads of thought entangled with the fabric of space and time? And if our minds hold such power, What of the moments we are not aware? The vast stretches of sleep or distraction? Does reality pause? Or does it find another witness in the endless expanse of existence? Let us drift deeper into this mystery, imagining a world where every thought is a brushstroke on an infinite canvas. A child gazing at the stars, lost in wonder, might unknowingly nudge the path of a distant particle. A dreamer, weaving stories in the quiet of night, might ripple the undercurrents of reality itself. It is a humbling, almost sacred possibility that we are not merely inhabitants of this universe, but quiet architects of its unfolding tale. Yet it also carries a gentle unease, for if our minds shape the world, what responsibility do we bear for the reality we create? As we linger in this thought, let the mystery settle over you like a soft mist. There are no easy answers here, no final truths to grasp. Science and mysticism dance together in this space, their steps uncertain, their rhythm unknown. Perhaps the role of consciousness in the quantum world is not a puzzle to be solved, but a question to be lived. A reminder that we are more than flesh and bone, more than fleeting sparks in the dark. We are beings of awareness. And in that awareness, there lies a power, a connection, a whisper of something vast and eternal. Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your thoughts drift like leaves on a quiet stream, carried by the current of wonder. What does it mean to be conscious in a universe that might, in some unfathomable way, be conscious of you? And as you ponder, let the stillness of this question cradle you, guiding you deeper into the night, where the boundaries of mind and matter dissolve into the gentle unknown. Imagine, for a moment, a grand cosmic puzzle with pieces so vast they curve the very fabric of space, and others so tiny they slip through the cracks of reality itself. This is the enigma of quantum gravity, a quest to weave together the infinitely small with the incomprehensibly large, to find a single thread that ties the whispers of particles to the silent expanse of galaxies. What drives us to seek such unity? To yearn for a story that binds all of existence into one harmonious tale? Is it merely science, or something deeper, a longing for meaning in a universe that often feels fractured? Picture the realm of the quantum, a world of fleeting probabilities where particles flicker like ghosts, defying the certainty we crave. Here, the rules are strange, almost playful, as if reality itself is testing the limits of what can be. Then, shift your gaze to the cosmic stage, where gravity reigns supreme, bending light and time with the weight of stars and black holes. These two domains seem irreconcilable. One a chaotic dance of chance, the other a solemn march of inevitability. Yet, beneath their apparent discord, might there lie a hidden harmony, a language we have yet to decipher? Consider the scientists and thinkers who have embarked on this journey, standing at the edge of understanding, peering into a chasm where the laws of nature seem to contradict one another. They speak of theories like string theory, where the universe hums with invisible vibrations, each note a fundamental piece of reality, or loop quantum gravity, imagining space itself as a woven tapestry, granular at its core, yet seamless in its vastness. These ideas are not mere equations on a page. They are acts of imagination, attempts to bridge the unbridgeable, to reconcile the fleeting with the eternal. What does this tell us about ourselves? That we too seek to unite the fragmented parts of our own existence to find coherence in our contradictions. Take a moment to reflect on this. What is it within us that aches for unity, that drives us to connect the smallest speck of dust to the farthest reaches of the cosmos? Is it the same impulse that compels us to mend broken relationships, to seek patterns in chaos, to believe that everything, somehow, belongs together? Perhaps the pursuit of quantum gravity is more than a scientific endeavor. Perhaps it mirrors a profound human truth. We live in a world of dualities, light and shadow, freedom and constraint, the minute and the monumental. Yet, in our quietest moments, don't we sense that these opposites are not truly separate? that the vastness of a starry night and the imperceptible tremor of an atom might share a common origin, a single breath that set all things in motion. The search for a theory of everything, a unified framework, feels almost like a spiritual quest, a desire to return to a primordial wholeness, to remember a time when the universe was not divided, but one. And so, we continue to ask, can the dance of the quantum be choreographed with the steady pull of gravity? Can the smallest whisper join the grandest chorus? We may not yet hold the answer, but the question itself is a kind of beauty, a reminder that even in our uncertainty, we are reaching for something greater. It is as if the universe, in its infinite complexity, is inviting us to participate in its unfolding story, to dream of a day when the large and the small are no longer strangers, but kin. Let this thought linger as you drift deeper into contemplation. What if the unity we seek is not just out there, in the equations and the stars, but within us, in the way we strive to understand, to connect, to belong? In this quiet pursuit, perhaps we are not so different from the cosmos itself, seeking, always seeking, to become whole. Imagine, for a moment, a void so profound that it seems to swallow all notion of substance, a space where nothingness reigns supreme. Yet, beneath this apparent emptiness, there pulses a hidden life, a restless energy that defies our understanding of what it means to be. In the quantum realm, the vacuum of space is not a barren wasteland, but a cauldron of possibility, where virtual particles flicker in and out of existence like fleeting thoughts in the mind of the universe. These ghostly entities, born from the fabric of nothingness, appear and vanish in the blink of an eye, as if testing the boundaries of reality itself. What does it mean for emptiness to hold such potential, to be so alive with unseen forces? Let us wander into this mystery, into the heart of the quantum void, and see what whispers it offers to those who listen. Picture the vastness of space, the endless stretch between stars, a canvas of darkness we often call empty. But in the language of quantum physics, this void is anything but vacant. It is a seething sea of energy, a field where the impossible becomes briefly real. Virtual particles, mere shadows of substance, emerge from nowhere, existing for fractions of a second before dissolving back into the ether. They are not bound by the rules that govern our tangible world. They borrow energy from the vacuum, defying conservation laws as if time itself grants them a fleeting loan. It's as though the universe, in its deepest silence, is dreaming, conjuring fragments of itself only to let them slip away. Can we not feel a strange kinship with this? Are there not moments in our own lives when ideas, hopes, or fears shimmer briefly into being, only to fade before they can take root? Consider the implications of this restless void. If emptiness is not truly empty, if it hums with the potential for creation, then what does this say about the nature of existence? In the quantum vacuum, every point in space is a seedbed of possibility, a place where something might arise from nothing. It challenges our very conception of what nothingness means. Is there ever truly a void? Or is all of reality underpinned by an unseen fullness, a latent energy waiting to manifest? Take a moment to reflect on this. Imagine yourself as part of this boundless field, a ripple in an ocean of potential. What lies dormant within you, flickering just beyond the edge of awareness, waiting for the right moment to come into being? Let us draw closer to this idea through the lens of our own humanity. Think of the quiet moments in your life, the stillnesses where nothing seems to happen. Perhaps it's the pause before dawn, when the world holds its breath, or the silence after a storm, heavy with the promise of renewal. In those moments, we often feel empty, as if we lack direction or purpose. Yet, like the quantum void, could this emptiness be a disguise for something deeper? Within us too, there are unseen forces, dreams not yet dreamed, words not yet spoken, paths not yet taken. Our stillness is not barren. It is teeming with the raw material of what could be. Just as virtual particles dance in and out of existence, so too do our possibilities hover at the edges of our consciousness, waiting for the spark of intention to bring them into the light. this parallel between the quantum void and the human. Soul invites a quiet wonder. If the universe itself is built on a foundation of hidden potential, then perhaps we are mirrors of that same design. Our moments of apparent nothingness, our doubts, our hesitations, our silences, may be the very spaces where transformation brews. What if, beneath the surface of our perceived emptiness, there lies a vast reservoir of energy, a creative force as restless as the vacuum of space? Could it be that our greatest strength is not in what we already are, but in what we might become, in the unseen particles of our being that flicker with the promise of something new? As we linger in this thought, let us not rush to define or categorize this potential. The quantum void does not yield to our need for certainty. It exists in a state of flux, a reminder that not everything must be grasped to be real. So too with ourselves. There is a beauty in allowing our inner possibilities to remain undefined, to shimmer at the edges of our awareness without forcing them into form. Take a moment to reflect on this. Sit with the idea that, like the universe, you are never truly empty. Even in your quietest hours, you are alive with unseen currents, with the whispers of what might be. And so we rest here, in the mystery of the quantum void, a place where emptiness is merely the shadow of creation, where the nothing is always on the verge of becoming something. It is a reminder that even in the deepest silence, there is a pulse, a hidden rhythm that ties us to the fabric of all things. Perhaps in our own way, we are part of this eternal dance, our lives a fleeting manifestation of a greater potential, flickering into being for a moment before merging back into the infinite. Let this thought linger as a quiet comfort, a gentle echo of the universe's endless capacity to create, even from what seems to be nothing at all. Let us drift into a quiet corner of the universe, a place where the strange and the wondrous begin to fade, as if a spell is broken under the weight of the ordinary. Imagine a realm where the impossible dances freely, particles existing in countless states at once, whispering secrets of infinite possibility, until something shifts. The moment they brush against the world around them, that magic slips away, like a dream dissolving in the light of morning. This is the phenomenon of decoherence, a subtle yet profound process where the quantum world, with all its wild potential, is tamed by the touch of reality itself. What does it mean, this loss of quantum magic, and what might it whisper to us about our own journey through life? Picture a single particle, a tiny speck of existence, hovering in a state of pure wonder. It is everything and nothing all at once, here and there, spinning this way and that, a chorus of possibilities singing in unison. This is the quantum state, a realm where the rules we know seem to dissolve into a haze of probability. But as this particle drifts closer to its surroundings, as it interacts with the air, the light, the vast and messy world beyond, something happens. The chorus falls silent. The possibilities collapse. The particle is forced to choose, to become one thing and one thing only, as if the universe itself has whispered, "Enough, be as we are." Decoherence is this quiet surrender, the moment when the boundless becomes bound, when the mystery of the quantum yields to the certainty of the everyday. There is a melancholic beauty in this, isn't there? A sense of something precious slipping through our fingers, like the fleeting clarity of a half-remembered dream. In the quantum world, decoherence is inevitable, a consequence of connection, of interaction, of being part of a larger whole. The particle cannot remain in its state of infinite potential forever. The environment, with its relentless presence, demands resolution. It's as if reality itself is a sculptor, chiseling away at the raw, unshaped stone of possibility until only one form remains. But in that sculpting, something is lost. The magic, the multiplicity, the sense that anything could be. It fades into the background, leaving only the familiar, the predictable, the known. Now, let us turn this mirror inward. Are we not, in some way, like these quantum particles, born into a state of boundless potential? As children, We are everything at once: dreamers, explorers, creators, unburdened by the weight of who we must become. The world stretches out before us like an endless horizon, and we believe, with a quiet certainty, that we can be anything. A poet, a scientist, a wanderer beneath the stars. Every path is open, every door unlocked. Yet as we grow, as we interact with the environment of life, with expectations, with norms, with the silent pressures of what is deemed possible, something shifts. The chorus of who we could be begins to quiet. Choices are made, paths are taken, and the infinite possibilities of youth collapse into the singular reality of who we are. Take a moment to reflect on this. Can you recall a time when you felt that boundless potential within you, only to watch it narrow as the world pressed in? Perhaps decoherence is not just a physical process, but a metaphor for the human condition. We too lose our quantum magic as we are shaped by the touch of reality. The dreams we once held, the versions of ourselves we imagined, often fade under the weight of practicality, of responsibility, of the need to conform. Society, like the environment in a quantum system, acts as a force of decoherence, stripping away the wild, untamed possibilities until we fit into a recognizable form. And yet, is this loss entirely tragic? Or is there a quiet necessity in it, a grounding that allows us to build, to connect, to find meaning in the singular path we walk? Consider for a moment the tension between freedom and structure. In the quantum world, a particle in superposition is free in a way that defies comprehension, existing in all states untethered by decision. But it is also untouchable, disconnected, unable to interact without losing that freedom. When decoherence occurs, when it collapses into a definite state, it becomes part of the world. It can touch, be touched, influence, and be influenced. Perhaps our own journey mirrors this. The loss of our boundless potential, the narrowing of our possibilities, allows us to belong, to weave our thread into the fabric of others' lives. Could it be that in surrendering some of our magic, we gain something else? Connection, purpose, a place in the greater whole? Yet, there lingers a quiet ache in this realization. Even as we find meaning in the path we've chosen, there is a part of us that mourns the paths not taken, the selves we left behind. Like a particle forced to abandon its superposition, we sometimes wonder what might have been if the world had not pressed so heavily upon us. What if we had resisted the environment of expectation? What if we had held onto that quantum magic just a little longer, daring to exist in multiple states, to defy the collapse into certainty? Take a moment to sit with this thought. Is there a part of you that still dreams of the possibilities you once held? A whisper of what could have been? In the quiet of the quantum world, decoherence reminds us of the delicate balance between potential and reality, between who we could be and who we are. It is a process of loss, yes, but also of becoming. Just as the particle finds its place in the tapestry of existence through interaction, so too do we find our shape through the touch of the world. And perhaps, even as we mourn the magic we've lost, we can find solace in knowing that somewhere, in the unseen corners of our being, a faint echo of that potential remains, a reminder that we too were once everything, and that even in our singularity, we carry the shadow of the infinite. Imagine a world where the invisible threads of the universe are spun into tools of unimaginable power, where the strange and elusive rules of the quantum realm no longer whisper in the shadows, but shape the very fabric of our tomorrow. What if the mysteries we've long pondered, those fleeting, ghostly principles that govern the smallest corners of existence, were to become the foundation of a new era? Let us step quietly into this thought, as if tiptoeing across the edge of a dream, and consider a future being woven from the enigma of quantum technologies. At the heart of this transformation lies a quiet revolution, one born not of roaring machines or towering structures, but of ideas so subtle they defy our ordinary grasp of reality. Quantum computing, for instance, emerges like a faint melody from the chaos of the subatomic world. Unlike the computers we know, which process information in rigid sequences of ones and zeros, these new minds operate in a realm of superposition, holding countless possibilities within a single breath. They solve problems that would take our greatest machines millennia to unravel, as if peering through the veil of time itself to glimpse answers hidden in the folds of the cosmos. Imagine a calculation so vast it maps the very dance of molecules in a living cell, or decrypts codes that guard the secrets of nations, all in the blink of an eye. This is not mere technology, it is a redefinition of what we believe is possible. And then there is quantum cryptography, a silent guardian born from the principle of entanglement. Here, information is secured not by locks or walls, but by the fundamental laws of nature. If a message is intercepted, the very act of observation disrupts the delicate quantum state, alerting the sender to the intrusion as if the universe itself were whispering a warning. It is a form of communication that feels almost alive, sensitive to the lightest touch, a bond between sender and receiver that cannot be broken without leaving a trace. In a world where trust is often fragile, this offers a strange and beautiful promise. A way to speak across distances with the certainty that no unseen ear can listen in. But as we marvel at these advancements, a shadow lingers in the quiet spaces of our thoughts. What does it mean to wield such power, to harness the very principles that underpin reality itself? These technologies, for all their brilliance, are not mere tools. They carry the weight of questions as old as humanity. With quantum computing, we might unlock the secrets of the universe, but at what cost? Could we, in our haste to know, unravel mysteries that were meant to remain hidden, not for lack of ability, but for the sake of our own humility? And with cryptography that borders on the inviolable, do we risk creating a world where privacy becomes a fortress, separating us further from one another in the name of protection? Take a moment to reflect on this. What is the price of knowing too much, of guarding too well? There is a delicate balance here, one that mirrors the quantum world itself, a dance between possibility and consequence, between the thrill of discovery and the burden of responsibility. As we step into this future, we are not just engineers or scientists, we are philosophers, poets, and dreamers, tasked with shaping a world that honors the strangeness from which it is born. Consider the ancient alchemists who sought to turn lead into gold, not merely for wealth, but to touch the divine secret of transformation. Are we not, in our own way, reaching for a similar alchemy, turning the abstract into the tangible, the impossible into the everyday? Yet, just as their quest was fraught with peril, so too is ours. The quantum realm offers gifts, but it does not yield them without a price. It asks us to look inward, to question not just what we can do, but what we should. And so, we stand at the threshold of this new age, gazing into a horizon lit by the faint glow of quantum possibility. It is a place of wonder, yes, but also of uncertainty, where each step forward carries the echo of a choice. Will we use these powers to build bridges between hearts and minds? Or will we erect walls of secrecy and control? Will we honor the mystery that birthed these tools? Or will we seek to dominate it, to force the universe to bend to our will? There are no easy answers, only the quiet invitation to ponder, to feel the weight of this moment as it unfolds. Take a moment to reflect on this. Imagine yourself as a steward of this strange and beautiful power. What would you choose to create? In the stillness of this thought, let us linger a little longer, allowing the implications to settle like dust after a storm. The future shaped by quantum technologies is not a distant dream. It is a reality already taking form, a whisper growing louder with each passing day. And as it does, it calls to us, not with demands, but with questions, urging us to remember that even in the smallest particle, in the quietest possibility, there lies a reflection of who we are and who we might become. Imagine for a moment that everything you thought you knew about the nature of reality was merely a shadow, a faint outline of a deeper truth that lies just beyond your grasp. What if the universe, at its core, is not a rigid structure of certainties, but a tapestry woven from threads of chance, mystery, and questions that defy answers. Let us step into this twilight realm, where the smallest fragments of existence whisper secrets about the whole, and where the very act of wondering might be as close as we ever come to understanding. As we sit in the quiet of this moment, consider the strange and beautiful world revealed by quantum physics, a world where the rules we cling to in our daily lives seem to dissolve into a mist of possibilities. Are we truly free, or are our paths shaped by probabilities so intricate that they mimic the illusion of choice? Think of a die rolling in the dark. Its face is unmarked until the moment it lands. Does it decide its fate, or is the outcome written in a script we cannot read? This is the heart of the quantum enigma, a universe that seems to dance between determinism and chaos, as if teasing us with the possibility that both might be true. Let us ponder deeper. Is the universe a machine, a cold assembly of parts ticking, along with mechanical precision? Or does it possess something akin to a mind, a consciousness that weaves through every particle, every wave, every fleeting moment of potential? Some have dared to suggest that reality itself might be a thought, a dream unfolding in the vastness of an unimaginable intellect. If this were so, what are we? Mere figments, or co-creators of this endless reverie? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let the weight of the questions settle into your mind, like a stone dropped into still water, sending ripples through the silence. Now, let us turn to the notion of comprehension itself. What if the universe is something beyond our capacity to grasp? Not because we lack the tools or the intellect, but because its very nature resists definition. Imagine standing at the edge of an ocean, gazing out at a horizon that curves away into infinity. You can feel the vastness, sense the depths beneath the surface, but no map, no measurement can capture its essence. Perhaps the quantum world is such an ocean, a realm where every discovery uncovers a new layer of mystery, where every answer births a dozen more questions. And yet, in this sea of uncertainty, there is a strange kind of peace. To sit with the unknown, to embrace the questions without demanding answers, is to align oneself with the rhythm of existence itself. Think of the ancient philosophers who gazed at the stars, not to conquer them, but to wonder at their light. They found solace in the vastness, in the realization that some truths are not meant to be held, only felt. Could it be that the quantum realm invites us to do the same? To let go of the need for certainty and simply be in the presence of a mystery that hums beneath all things? As we linger here, let us ask one final question. What does it mean to live in a universe that may never fully reveal itself? Does it diminish us, or does it grant us a kind of freedom? The freedom to imagine, to dream, to weave our own meanings into the fabric of the unknown. Perhaps the greatest gift of these quantum musings is not in finding the answers, but in learning to dwell within the questions, to find a quiet strength in the ambiguity that surrounds us. Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your thoughts drift, like leaves on a gentle stream, carried by the current of wonder. In this space of contemplation, we are not bound by the need to solve or to know. We are simply here, breathing in the mystery, listening to the faint whispers of a reality that may never speak plainly, yet speaks nonetheless. And perhaps that is enough, to sit with the unknown, to feel its presence, and to let it remind us that even in our smallest moments, we are part of something vast, something strange, something infinitely beautiful. Imagine, for a moment, that the universe itself is a riddle whispered in the dark, a puzzle not meant to be solved, but to be held gently in the mind as you drift into the quiet of the night. Here, at the edge of all we know, lies a realm so strange, so elusive, that even our most brilliant minds can only gaze upon it with awe. This is the quantum world, a place of paradoxes and possibilities, where the very fabric of reality seems to shimmer with secrets just out of reach. And as we sit with this mystery, we find not just a reflection of the cosmos, but a mirror to our own existence, full of questions that may never find answers, yet stir something deep within us. Let us linger here, in this ethereal space where the smallest fragments of reality dance to rules we cannot fully grasp. Think of the quantum world as a vast, unseen ocean, its surface rippling with waves of probability, each crest and trough, hiding a truth that slips away the moment we try to touch it. Particles exist not as solid things, but as whispers of what might be, ghosts of potential that flicker between being and not being, as if the universe itself is dreaming. Isn't it curious how something so infinitesimal, so far beyond our senses, can hold the key to everything we are? Every atom in your body, every thought in your mind, every star in the endless sky, it all emerges from this strange, hidden foundation. And yet the more we learn of it, the less we seem to understand. Consider for a moment the paradoxes that define this realm. A particle can be everywhere and nowhere, a single entity split into countless possibilities until the act of observation pins it down. Reality, it seems, is not a fixed stage, but a story we help to write, moment by moment. And what of entanglement, where two specks of matter, separated by light years, remain bound by an invisible thread, responding to each other as if space and time were mere illusions? These mysteries are not just scientific curiosities. They tug at the edges of our philosophy, our sense of self. Are we too entangled with the world in ways we cannot see? Are our lives woven into a larger tapestry, where every choice, every breath resonates across the unseen? Take a moment to reflect on this. Let your mind wander to the idea that the universe might not be a cold, mechanical construct, but something alive with mystery, something that invites us not to conquer it, but to wonder at it. What if the quantum world is less a puzzle to solve and more a poem to feel? A reminder that not all questions need answers, that sometimes the beauty lies in the not knowing. As we sit with these thoughts, let us imagine ourselves as part of this cosmic dance. Just as a particle holds within it a multitude of states, perhaps we too carry endless versions of who we could be. Every decision, every fleeting thought, is a wave of potential collapsing into the now. Yet even as we choose our paths, the quantum realm whispers that nothing is truly lost, that somewhere in the vast expanse of possibility, all versions of us might still exist, echoing through the silent corridors of what could have been. Isn't there a strange comfort in this? The idea that our mistakes, our regrets, our unchosen dreams might not be erased, but simply tucked away in some unseen fold of reality. And so, we come to rest in the eternal mystery of it all. The quantum world does not offer us certainty, it offers us wonder. It does not demand that we unravel its secrets. It asks only that we sit with them, letting their strangeness wash over us like a quiet tide. Perhaps this is the greatest lesson it holds, not to seek mastery over the unknown, but to embrace it, to let it remind us of our own smallness, our own boundless potential. For in the end, are we not like those particles, shimmering between what is and what might be, forever caught in the beautiful uncertainty of existence? Take a moment to reflect on this. Close your eyes, if only for a breath, and feel the weight of the unknown settle around you like a soft, comforting shadow. Let the questions linger, not as burdens, but as companions in the stillness. For in this quiet space, between the known and the unknowable, we find a kind of peace, a realization that the greatest mysteries are not meant to be solved, but to be felt deep in the silence of the night.